There is. I can open the whole thing on the table. There's cookies. There's chocolates.
Yeah,
There's somebody made
no.
fudge. Roscoe. I just gave him one of the cookies we bought at the thing,
Just show
Yeah.
away.
and he liked it. The peanut butter
I'm
cookie.
waiting for a drop-in.
Did you eat it all? Go see.
I'm gonna put him in my coat. I need to take him home to my.
I'll wrap them up for you.
There you go.
It's
Well,
nice.
see Mary, she wants you.
Mary.
It's nice that everybody could be here tonight. Everybody, we got everybody on the Rosebrook side of the family is here, and we've got a spattering of from our side of the family. My mother and my son and his wife.
spattering. I'm sorry, that's now you call it spattering.
Sounds like a horror movie.
But our
Stephen American Horror Story.
but
She's the next
our
series, the
families,
Rosebrooks.
our families have actually been intertwined for 45, 46 years. To the point where some of the people in the room didn't even know, because when you guys moved up from Kingston and your mother went looking for a church, she found this church across from the school and went to a meeting. And my mother, at the time, we had moved here from Rival, she went to a couple other churches and went to this same church. And it just so happened they were at a meeting
At the
and
same meeting.
at the same meeting, and they were going around the room and saying how many kids they had. And this woman had one, this family had two, three.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it got around, and my mother's getting real nervous at this time because here she is, 6, you know. So it got around to Mrs. Rosebrook, and she said that she was very proud. She had 6 kids, and my mother felt very much at ease. And I knew who my new best friend was. So, and they've been on committees, they've been on circles, they've been on planning things for years. And through that time period, that's how Debbie and I have come to know each other. Because, again, the 5-year-old little girl and all her
Girls, 5.
siblings.
And he was 7 because he's older.
I am. But we got to know each other through church, growing up, youth groups, different things. Actually, as I keep getting, every time we meet people or talk to people, I keep getting told how I went out with her best friend. Well, it was her best friend.
I have her
before.
picture.
Oh yeah, she gave
Sue
me
Jones.
her,
I
she
gave
gave
it
me
to
her
her.
picture. the other day.
I still have it. You know those little tiny pictures like from elementary school?
Yeah.
I had one and I'm like, oh, here's Sue Jones, your girlfriend.
She reminds me all the time.
Oh, and I have a postcard for you. Don't
What?
forget that. I still haven't given that to him. Sorry, I just thought of that with a picture.
But Shenandoah is a magical place because all those years in the past, and then we both went away, had different things in our lives, such as Chris and Brian. And finally, we both came back in the area, and we both seen each other at
The
Shenandoah
wives,
Church.
right? Yeah.
And
The wives.
actually, at the time, every time Rosebrook sat on the left, we sat on the right. We'd get up, and her and I would meet in the middle, and even with significant others there, we'd still give a hug and a kiss. In the past, I've coached Brian at baseball, and it's been a long time together.
No wonder you
Now, one-
suck at baseball.
Now, a couple of years ago, we both, after being at church, we both got up, met in the middle, and gave a kiss and hug, and I said to her, well, do you see anything different about my finger? And she
She
goes,
didn't
no.
ask you
I
to
go,
pull it, did she?
I don't have a ring on it.
She asked you to pull it.
Yeah, pull my finger.
Yeah, I'm not pull the finger. And she turned around and says, you don't see any ring on my finger neither.
Smell like poop.
And so with that,
He didn't say pull my finger. That was good.
with that, we turned around and found out that we're both single. Or thereabouts.
Unencumbered.
Yes.
Unencumbered.
And through that, we turned around and got each other through some rough times and became friends. And 21 months ago, approximately, we we turned around and started dating. And through that time, I've learned what a special woman she is. She's done
For
a
when I tell
wonderful
you to
job.
take the cardboard and go.
Wonderful job as a mother. She's been a great daughter. I've seen that. I've seen her being a fantastic sister to you guys. Anytime anybody gets sick or any problems, she turns around.
You want this side?
She's right there.
Say yes, Deb, yes, Deb.
She is. And
Well, we have the thing that their parents had 6 kids because they had to keep doing it till they got it right.
that is
You must have gotten on the first try.
Yeah,
I got you on the first try and I stopped. That's it.
either that or it was a mistake.
But with the 21 months that we just passed a few days ago, and we have talked about marriage and everything else. We've actually got 3 different plans on what we'll do come wedding time. And we've got to figure that out when the time comes. But with that, and March 17th being the day of going over 2 years, little known to my girl, I called Mr. Bryan. Because I got to figure out when the time would be when the people that are family are going to be there. And what?
Just
And with
listen,
that, and with
listen.
that, I turn around and we talked about it, and I try to figure out when he's actually going to be back up here.
2 years, he said.
He did say.
I
2
asked
years.
him.
When are you coming over?
This is the longest I've
And-
ever heard him talk.
Thank
Now I know where Chris gets it from.
That's all right, you're
But-
doing fine,
you.
keep on.
Thank you, Mrs. Rosebrook. You're the boss. You're the boss. You guys all listen to those shows.
Yeah.
But it's all about the base. With talking to Brian and trying to figure out when he was gonna be up, at the earliest it would be is Thanksgiving. That's the earliest. Because they got other commitments. They've got their honeymoon that they're gonna be going on.
That's his toy.
Okay, I wasn't
He
sure.
can have
So, we talked a little bit further, and with that, he turned around and said that he would magically waive the 2-year rule. And that time would be okay now.
Now?
And with that, over the past 21 months, have found you being the most magical woman. You're a fantastic person. You're the first thing I think of in the morning,
God bless you.
and the last thing that I think of at night.
Yeah. I agree. Roscoe, I know what you mean, bud.
All the time.
Yes.
You're the love of my life. You are so special. I've seen you be the best thing in the world.
She is special. She used to take the small bus to school.
Oh, down on the knees.
Oh, look at this. I would
Oh
love
my God.
for you to be my wife the rest of my life.
I say yes or no, right?
Yes.
Yes or no.
Hey! All right.
Wow.
The engagement was only 21 months, but the proposal was almost 28 months.